Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Ask Anything presented by Moser Consulting. I'm your host, Angel Leon, Moser's Director of Personnel. We're happy that you could join us for this episode of Ask Anything because today we're talking with one of Moser Consulting's leaders. Paula Moser is joining us to talk about a product that will be available to organizations soon, our wellness app, something we've used internally at Moser Consulting as a tool for a very awesome employee benefit that we get, and we want to share it with the world. Paula Moser is the co-owner and vice president of administrative services at Moser Consulting. She brings nearly 30 years of business experience to the table. As a technology consulting solutions provider, Moser Consulting boasts a team of almost 300 employees and offices spanning the Midwest and East Coast. There are 5 divisions specialized in serving federal, state, and commercial markets. Let's welcome our guest, Paula Moser. Paula, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's an honor to have you. I think this is the second time we've had you.
Yes.
We had you for a Habitat for Humanity build episode a couple years ago. So we're very excited to have you with us to talk about the wellness app. This is a product that it's internal to Moser, but we're going to release it out into the world and see how it fares. So let's start with the basic with the wellness app. What is the wellness app and how did it came to be?
Well, a wellness app is a reward system for our employees for different wellness activities that they do throughout the year. It's pretty simple. You upload receipts during each quarter. We have a cutoff date. And after they upload those receipts, they equal out to $300 or sometimes even more than $300. But $300 is kind of our cutoff point. And we pay our employees through payroll, that extra $300 per quarter. We found it's worked really, really well for our employees. Everybody seems to really enjoy it. And it's easy for us to administer.
Yeah, I can say as the administrator of the program, it is very easy to use. And we're going to get through the history of the app and all that here in a second, but it's definitely changed since I joined Moser to what it is now. I think the product that it is now is way better, and just the developing that has occurred behind the scenes thanks to our application services team has been phenomenal. So shout out to them. So the idea of wellness, how has it all evolved throughout the years? Because when I came to Moser, I feel like I came halfway through where wellness began and where it is now. So what can you tell us about how it began and how it has evolved throughout the years?
That's a great question. We started the wellness app because we tried several different outside programs that didn't fit with our employees' needs. We initially thought of how to make our employees more fit meant wellness. And wellness is so much more than that. So we started paying for our employees' monthly gym memberships. We thought maybe that was going to be the way to help everyone. And then people wanted more. So we started a Fitbit challenge and got everybody that wanted to participate a Fitbit. Had a reward system. They could get a gift card, a fitness product. It just was a very clunky program. There was glitches all the time. Either their Fitbit didn't connect to the program or they didn't like the prizes and things that they had there. We also tried a fitness coach for a while. Yeah, so that was interesting. There was people who took advantage of the fitness coach. We had about 10% participation from our employees and nothing quite hit the mark. Programs were not easy to manage for HR folks as well. Helping people get into the system, troubleshooting, explaining what the programs were, what they did or did not qualify for a prize. It just didn't quite work for our employees. And all of that caused a tremendous amount of frustration, not only for our employees, but for HR who was administering the program. We were basically taking a dartboard and throwing a dart and hoping we would hit a program our employees would like and would be easy to administer.
I have to say real quickly, I could definitely see where the frustration would come, especially going back to the Fitbits, because I was an early adopter of Fitbits when they first came out. And I thought they were cool, but they were, like you said, they were kind of clunky. Because sometimes you wanted to see more data than what was available. Sometimes it wouldn't necessarily count your steps. I remember, so I was overseas at the time, and I remember walking through my office. I had to get from point A to point B. It was a pretty far stretch. And I remember I kept looking at my Fitbit, just thinking, oh, it's recording everything I'm doing. And then when I got from point to point B, I was like, wait a second. What happened to all the steps I just took? I felt like I had just walked like a mile and I didn't record anything. So I could see that. But then the coach, I find it interesting because a lot of people like that kind of one-on-one interaction and just having somebody that can coach them and kind of come up with a plan. So I'm kind of surprised it really didn't stick with our employees because, again, people like that kind of one-on-one attention. They like to have that person that can really coach them and guide them through their journey. But I guess if you're doing that on your own and not really going anywhere, not going to the gym or going, maybe having sessions out here in our back patio, like maybe that was it.
Well, we have very introverted
Yes.
employees here at Moser, being in the IT field, being willing to call up a stranger
Yeah.
probably wasn't always the best thing for them.
Yeah.
So we found that there were some people who were really into it, really into fitness and wellness, and they wanted to do something. So they would make that phone call. But we had quite a few people who were just like, I'm not comfortable doing that.
Right. And so from that,
Mhm.
we're kind of getting to
Yes.
where we are now. So
Yeah. So we kind of went through what is going to be good, not just for that 10%. How do we make this good for 70 employees, 150 employees, 300 employees? How do we make them happy with our wellness program? So we decided to make it really very simple. Just give them that bucket of money, like we talked about at the beginning, each quarter to spend on wellness items, not just on fitness, because not everyone enjoys working out. So we decided to add items like spa services, massage or manicure, pedicure, dietary supplements like vitamins or protein powder, and weight management maintenance, such as a dietitian, a nutritionist, even your Weight Watchers fees. And then some other things that kind of our employees are very creative.
Yes.
There you
Creative.
go. They're creative. And we also do things like financial planning, stress management, like yoga, aromatherapy, maybe a sleep app to help you to sleep at night. So all of those things ended up becoming part of the wellness program.
Yeah, we have quite an extensive list, I would say right now. It probably needs some more curating as we go. And that's something that obviously anybody can do, whoever takes up this app eventually. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But we have tailored it to match our employees and what their wants or needs are. Let's talk a little bit because through the pandemic, that also changed. And so we had to change the wellness app a little bit because of the pandemic. So what can you tell us about that?
Exactly. Yeah. COVID hit and we were all scrambling. How do we make this new world fit into our programs that we already had? Wellness was one of those. People couldn't go for their spa services. They couldn't go to the gym. So what other things were people needing at this time? And we found that everybody was really needing to set up their home office.
Right.
So before COVID, people would be in the office. I would say 90% of our employees were in the office every day of the week. COVID, we all know what happened there. Everybody had to stay at home. And so when they had to stay at home, we decided to offer wellness bucks was probably our easiest way to get money to our people, have a limit on it that we already had in place of the $300, and people could get things like headsets, desks, office chairs, any kind of item that they would need in order to set up their work from home office.
So I got to point out, because this came about because of the commodities and really everything that we offer in the office. Our desks are stand up, so people could use them when they're here. I would say 99%, if not 100% of our desks have multiple monitors. So there's a lot of variety in things that our employees have available to them at the reach of the hand that obviously, because we're now turning to our homes, maybe some of them didn't have. So allowing them to get this benefit to their wellness bucks really just opened the floodgates to people buying all these stand-up desks, buying multiple monitors. And I have to say, 4 years later, we still have that offering as part of our wellness bucks, and people still take advantage of it. I mean, we have people that buy new office chairs, that buy new headsets for their calls, that buy new cameras for their setup at home for when they're having video calls. So it's been, I would say, a very welcome addition, and a very happy one at that. That our people, I mean, they still ask me, hey, is this still available? Can I still take advantage of this? And when I say yes, they're like, oh, awesome. And so I'd say for me, it's really good to see that. And people obviously still use it a lot.
It was very, very popular. I know when COVID hit, I was working from my dining room table.
Mhm.
We had one office and there were multiple people in our household that were
Yes.
trying to do some form of work, whether it was us trying to do our regular work or our children trying to do college online out of their bedrooms. So it really did help us in order to make one of our bedrooms actually into another office. So then I had a separate office from my husband. So all of that worked out well.
I used it to create the space that I'm currently occupying in my basement because we have a home office. My wife was attempting to teach special education remotely, which was a grand adventure all on its own. So, like, the kids are at kitchen table, dining room table, working on their schoolwork. She's upstairs in the office, and I'm downstairs, and pretty quickly just assembled a desk, a chair, like, just things that I needed to work from home and be out of their way and also keep them out of my way.
All right, so let's look at the business side of things and what we're about to launch out there. So what businesses would benefit from an app like this? Because I have to say, from an HR standpoint and as the administrator, I think an app like this is phenomenal in the way it works and how it can really allow us to manage the program really well. It's mobile friendly, so it allows you to just take a picture with your phone and upload that picture as a receipt for that item that you just purchased. Or if your gym charges you monthly and you just want to take a screenshot of your monthly statement from your bank and then just kind of cross out anything that's not obviously that you don't want to share, you can upload that. It's just so user friendly on both ends of the spectrum, from both the user experience and from an administrative experience. It allows us to view the receipts plainly, and we can zoom in on everything. And it is just so very well thought out. Again, a shout out goes to our developers for helping develop such a good app. And the way it looks and functions on the web and on the mobile, it's really good. So going back to my question, what businesses do you think would benefit from an app like this?
I really think it could be any business. This is just not for an IT company. You can create it to fit whatever your employees' needs or even wants are when it comes to wellness. You can scale it up or down for different
Yes.
things. Some things that we used it to scale up and down was we had a wellness fair that we decided that we wanted to see how many people we could kind of get steered toward that, because we also had some open enrollment items in there. And one way was to offer an incentive of $50 for them to participate. So we could easily put an extra $50 into that. We asked our developers, they put that extra $50 in, and then we could scale it back down after that wellness fair. It really did help us to get a lot more participation. Other ways you can use it is maybe to promote a blood drive or flu shots or anything that you really want to try to steer your employees to participate in.
Yeah. And I think obviously our use of it is wellness related. I mean, I think an app like that really just lets you use it for anything you like. But if you're trying to steer your employees towards a wellness mindset, towards more of a reward structure when it comes to that, because we care about our employees. We want our employees to be well, to take wellness seriously. And you've heard some of the initial steps that we took for that and how it only hit with 10, 15% of the employees at the company. Well, now I can tell you we're probably at the lowest, we're at about 84% usage, which is very high. I mean, you're talking about now we're reversed how it started. Now we're talking about less than 15% of people that really don't use it. And that sometimes it's surprising to me, because you're leaving, not, wink, wink, not, you're leaving money on the table, guys. But I think the use of it is really across the board. Anybody could use it. Anybody could experience this.
I agree. We actually survey our employees once, or at least once a year, sometimes twice a year for those who live in Indiana. But one of the questions we ask is, what is the best benefit that Moser Consulting has to offer? And wellness specs and our wellness app comes up as one of the most number one things
By
that we
far.
hear from our employees. So
By far. All right. So before we go, what does the future look like for the wellness app?
well, we want to share it with other companies that also maybe want to inspire wellness for the whole person within their employees. We hope they can learn from our journey of going from gym memberships and step challenges and all the missteps that we had along the way into making a really good wellness journey for themselves and for their companies.
Yes, and the future is bright. I gotta say, I really think this app could do very well for a lot of companies out there. So I really hope that people, when they see it, they see the potential and they see what they could actually do with it. So with that, we'd like to thank Paula Moser for joining us today on Ask Anything to talk about the wellness app. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you for listening in to this week's edition of Ask Anything presented by Moser Consulting. We hope you enjoyed listening to Paula Moser talk to us about the wellness app. Join us next time when we continue to dive deeper with our resident experts and what they're currently working on. Remember to send us your ideas or topics via social media feeds. In the meantime, please remember to give us a rating and subscribe to our feed wherever you get your podcasts. Until then, so long, everybody.